As we discussed right up at the beginning of the course, your own personal opinions of what is visually appealing is not all that important. And the reason for that is you need some scientific evidence, some theory behind the visual elements so that you know that a wide audience is going to like it, right? However, given that, over the years, I've seen some things that lead to really good technical figures, and I've seen that a large number of potential audience really like these things. So I'm going to call these personal preferences, but they're not really personal. It's just that there are alternatives which work just as well, but these are the choices that I made which have served me really well over the years. So I wanted to share them over here. Okay, but do take them with a grain of salt. If I say that this style I like, it's just something that most people are going to like, but you may not like them, and there is going to be a portion of people, experts in visual representation, who are going to disagree. So take them with a grain of salt. So let's start off with my personal best, and that has served me really well for a long time, and that is the concept of rounded corners. For instance, take a look at this guy over here. So it's a rectangle with rounded corners, and the corners have been so much rounded that it looks like what is called a pill. So this is called a pill design, and it works really well. In technical diagrams, it kind of softens the image of what you're trying to communicate. It reduces the dryness of your figures and just makes them a little more accessible. If you take it to an extreme, you turn your squares into circles, and circles are one of those things which people don't often use in their technical diagrams, and I've personally seen that they work really well if you can handle them. And really the way to handle circles is give them space. Just spread them out and they'll look really good. So this is one figure that I really like. It employs the concept of circles, and it employs another concept which is a personal favorite, and it works really well because it does not rely on color to communicate emphasis. It uses something that works really well on screen and in print, and that is this concept of double border lines. So immediately looking at your figure, you're going to see that this is trying to put emphasis on it without trying to put too much emphasis on it, right? So it's very subtle, but it really puts the emphasis on the component that you want to highlight. Okay. So the general principle here is the concept of rounded corners. If you use them consistently in your diagrams are going to look really nice. Let's take a look at another example of this. So this I've covered again and again. I really like this figure, if I say so myself. The general principle here is the concept of light colors and pill design. So these are the two main things. Plus I have this extra little personal favorite here, which is the concept of using grays with blacks. So dash lines also look gray to the eye, even though they are really black. So they look gray, and these are the black lines. This text over here is gray. So the combination of gray and black works really well because it's visible on screen and it's visible in print. You can distinguish between gray and black even in print, and on screen it looks really good. So if you take this gray black combo, you can use it to do some really nice stuff. An example of this is this figure over here. So again, it has some stuff on it which is really nice. As you can see, we have a lot of complicated connections over here. If you try to make all of them black, it's going to turn into a big mess and nobody's going to be able to see what's going on over here. But we've taken the concept of gray-black combo. The black lines are those which we want to highlight, and the gray ones are adding emphasis, depth, and completeness to our figure. Even if you don't understand what the figure is trying to say, you can see that this is the main connection, plus we have some secondary connections as well, which are going from this guy to this guy, and we have some elements going from this guy to this guy over here. Similarly, stuff is connected from here, and it's also connected from over here as well. Same here, all of these components are connected to this guy, but they're also connected to this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. So you see how this visual representation translates to text. All of these components are connected to this component 3. So that is our primary communication. But they're also connected to these. And because they are secondary, which is signified by the word also, they are grayed out. You use the gray-black combo to put emphasis on your primary concept, and you can add depth or layers to your technical figures by using the grayed out stuff. Okay? So we have 3 important concepts in this figure. One is the idea of using space for grouping. So here you can see that there are 3 main groups over here. So we have this group over here which finishes here. then we have a little bit of space, and then we have this group, and then we have another bit of space, and then we have another group over here. So one group, another group, and the third group. So we have three groups, and they are just slightly separated from each other through some space which is not even empty. But if you look at it, I'll remove the line so that you can take a look. So if you look at it now, once you know what to look for, you can see that these are three different components. So even if you don't visually recognize what's going on, your mind is subconsciously going to group them together using the concept of space provided over here. So you can use spaces for grouping. You can also use braces, right? So these braces, I personally, again, this is a personal preference, I really like them to highlight stuff. So this brace over here, it essentially groups all of these things together into one guy. Okay. Similarly, all these three are grouped together using this brace, and these are also grouped together using the braces. So I really like the concept of braces because they get out of your way. You don't have to look at them unless you want to. So if your audience does not even pay attention to the braces, it's still going to work, but the braces are going to add depth and another layer of understanding to your figures. And the final thing is you can use dashed borders around boxes to highlight stuff. I don't have them over here, but what you can do is you can draw a box here, give it a dashed border, and give it a very light, like 5%, 6% gray background, and it's going to highlight this thing as a single component. So that can be done. The problem that people have with this is they make these borders or these component boxes very dark. If you're going to put borders around things and try to group them together, you have to make sure that the borders and the background is extremely light, very, very light. It should be barely visible, right? It's still going to serve its purpose, right? So try it out, and hopefully by looking at these examples, you're going to pick the right color. If you don't recall, go back to the color video and you'll see what I mean. So let me get rid of all of this and leave you with one of the most important recommendation that I can make. All of these figures that you've seen over here, all of these figures that I've drawn, this guy over here, this figure, this one, and even this one, all of these have been drawn using a tool that I really, really like. Like I said in the beginning of the course, this course itself does not require you to use a particular tool. However, picking the right tool really makes your life easy. For instance, right at the beginning of the course, we discussed about alignment and distribution. If you use this tool that I'm going to recommend in just a minute, you're going to have the alignment and distribution problem taken care of automatically. You don't have to worry about it. I said you have to pick the right colors. You have to make the colors consistent. The tool is going to make that extremely easy for you. We discussed the concept of proper fonts. You get that for free, right? So all of this stuff, this very high quality figure drawing, you get it almost for free, but not exactly for free, but almost for free if you learn this tool once. So my recommendation is that for drawing figures like this, you should really, really, really invest some time in learning LaTeX. Please use LaTeX. It will change the way you do everything. LaTeX can be used for creating your basic single page documents. You can use it for writing research papers. You can use it for writing your office memos. You can use it for creating your examination papers, your notes, even your figures, right? So all of these figures have been drawn using LaTeX. You don't have to do LaTeX, but if you are in, number one, if you're in computer science, you would have absolutely no problem learning LaTeX. Even if you're not in computer science, I've seen people coming from background of mathematics, from sciences and humanities, from psychology, all those fields. It's not that difficult. It has a really bad rep of being complicated, but if you do it right, it's very easy and it can lead to really, really high quality output for almost everything that you do. So I highly recommend you use it. I have a course on LaTeX. You can use that, or really you can use any free source that is available over the internet. There is a lot of help for LaTeX. It's free. You can start learning it, and if you spend no more than a week on it, it's going to be really good. That is my final recommendation. I hope you had fun with the course. Now your project is going to be to take some of your figures, either past figures or draw a new one, and then apply these concepts, upload them, and let me know where to find them so that I can provide some feedback on those so that you can learn by doing. Because this is design, you have to actually apply these concepts. Just watching the videos is not going to be sufficient. So good luck with the project, and please do ping me and we'll see how we can help you improve even more.